friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kaylee and this is Foodie Friday. So this week I am sharing with you guys how to make the ultimate sweet and salty chewy cookie. So not only is this cookie super chewy and it has that perfect sweet and salty combination, but it is also giant. This recipe makes huge cookies. You guys know I love a good cookie, and what better way to enjoy one that's the size of your face. So I'm really excited to share this with you. As always, this recipe is made with wholesome ingredients that you can feel good about eating. There's just 6 simple ingredients in this recipe, and they are so easy to make. This recipe is also created to be paleo friendly and gluten free. So without further ado, let's get to baking. Alright friends, as usual, I'm going to start off and introduce our ingredients. Our first ingredient is 2 cups of fine almond flour. You can get milled or almond meal, but I always try to use fine almond flour when baking cookies and cakes. Then we have 1/2 cup of smooth and creamy almond butter. I typically get the all natural, so there's no added sugar. We have 1 whole egg. Then we also have 3/4 cup of coconut sugar. You don't need to finely pack this like you do brown sugar, but make sure you get a full 3/4 cup for this recipe. Then we have 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, as well as 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. And our final ingredient, which is 1/2 cup of coconut oil softened. Be sure to have this just softened and not melted. Our first step is to get our wet ingredients well mixed together, and we're going to do this by adding these slowly together. We want this to be a creamy consistency and have 0 lumps in our cookies. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to grab our almond butter and add it to a large mixing bowl, followed by our softened coconut oil. We will then mix these 2 ingredients together by hand. You're more than welcome to use a hand mixer, but if you have a creamy almond butter as well as a well softened coconut oil, this should not be difficult to mix together. So we're just going to take these 2 ingredients, and with a spatula we're going to mix these together well. One thing that I would like to know about your coconut oil, and this is extremely key for this recipe, is please use refined coconut oil. For some reason, using unrefined coconut oil will cause your cookies to spread out and be very thin, and we want to avoid that. So make sure you use refined. This also reduces the coconut flavor in the coconut oil. Now we're going to add the remaining wet ingredients, which is our maple syrup and egg, and once we get that all well mixed together and there's no lumps, we will then add our dry ingredients. Now that we have a smooth and creamy batter, we're going to add in our coconut sugar. Just add all of this in at once, and we will stir this together and incorporate it into our wet ingredients. Once we have our coconut sugar well mixed together with our wet ingredients and we have a smooth consistency, it's time to add in our dry ingredients. So typically I would add in my dry ingredients in 3 parts. I would add some of my almond flour along with my baking soda and salt mixture and mix this together. This prevents you from getting any lumps in your cookie dough, and it just makes sure everything gets evenly distributed. If you want to save some time, you can whisk your baking soda and salt with your almond flour beforehand. It makes things a little bit easier, and unfortunately I did not do that here. Once our cookie dough has formed, I typically sit it in the fridge for about 15 minutes to set. This kind of just help things come together, but you can scoop out the cookie dough if you like and then set it in the fridge. but I usually just like to set it in there before scooping out, but it's really up to you. So this should make 12 large cookies or 24 smaller cookies. But once you get these all scooped out on a parchment paper lined baking sheet, you will cook these in your oven at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. So the cookies came out of the oven. I allowed them to cool on a baking rack for about 10 minutes before I pulled them off. This will let them set and get the super crispy outside and keep the inside super soft. So let's try these out. So good. As always, I'm going to take these into the living room and enjoy them with a cold glass of coconut milk and share them with Brad. As always, please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe to my channel so you never miss a recipe. I look forward to getting together next week where we cook another nutritious and delicious dish. Alright you guys, see you next time.